Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Cheryl Technology Channel. I'm your host, Chris, and yes, I know it's been a month. Don't judge me. It has been a very long time since I did a video, but I've had a hard month, and I'm starting to feel better somewhat. So I figured I'd get back into making videos now in this one. So I wanted to examine something a little bit out of the ordinary that I normally don't look at, and that's I am a technology guy who does this every day, all day long, 7 days a week. Well, mostly 7 days a week. I'm trying to stop, and you'll see why. If you like this video, click the thumbs up button. If you don't, that's fine too. It doesn't really matter to me. Just as long as you learn something, I don't care. So, I'm trying to figure out what effect technology is having on me. Not only that, but my boys, my family, and the interaction we have with each other. So what I found was this. I'll get to that at the end of the video. You'll have to wait. So what I wanted to do is kind of examine what things I have started to notice. So the first thing I started to notice was that I used technology as an outlet to get away from the responsibility of being present. Now, it is true that it's important for a dad to be in his family's life, but I think it's even more important to do it for the right reason. Now, you may think to yourself, I told you this video is going to be different. You may think to yourself that you are not capable of being both. And I'm going to tell you right now that being a dad in IT is difficult. It is so hard. It is so hard. Is it? And here's what I've learned. I make really good money where I'm at now. But what I have learned is that money can only take you so far. Money will not make you happy. That is a fact. I learned it myself. My family and God comes first. Period. God comes first, my family comes second. And what I've learned from that is that money in and of itself is a tool. Oh my God, what? A tool? A tool. And this tool is used to be, it's to be used for making, it's used to pay bills and stuff like that. But I think that I'm missing the mark, because what I'm finding is that money can only do certain things. It can't bring your family closer together. You can't love your family more the more money you make. It can't bring you happiness. It can buy you things, but what good's that going to do you? All that junk's going to fade away. All of it. It will all fade away. Everything that you buy right now will fade away. All of it. Even if you invest money, it will fade away eventually. So that's kind of what I wanted to discuss in this video. That's kind of my introduction, and this is what I found. So some of you are not going to like what I'm going to say in this video, but I think it needs to be said because it happened to me. The first point I want to make is this. I did a video a while back, a few months ago, about content filtering, right? About how content filtering can improve things. It can help to block bad content with your kids' devices. The problem with it, there is a very gleaming problem that I see. That problem is this. If you are using a device to block what your kids are seeing, why are you not with them, spending time with them? Hey, I'm preaching to myself here. This is what happened to me. I was able to use content filtering as kind of an escape to not spend time with my kids for whatever reason, and I don't know why. The other night, something happened with my youngest son, and it terrified me. And it made me really rethink what I was doing. And luckily everything's fine, but it could have been bad. And I just want to take the time to tell y'all that if you are If you are struggling to figure out what to do with your kids, just do something, anything. Don't don't allow, like I took my kids out to eat lunch today or supper, whatever you want to call it. It was supper as much as it costs, but we had ice cream too. We had ice cream together, then we went out to eat. And that's something that we never do together. So I'm going to do more of that. That's my first point is instead of relying on an application to tell what your kids are doing, why don't you spend time with them instead? That would be much better. That way you can have a direct impact on what they're doing. The second point I have is this. Should you have a device? I'm not saying devices are wrong. I'm not saying that they are a hindrance though. I will tell you that. I learned that my device was a hindrance. This is what I have right here. The Google Pixel 6 Pro. That's what I have. This phone, I've had it for probably a year, a little over a year now. It's a great device, but the problem is it's a device. Anything that is not your kids is a distraction. Right? We spend all this time on our phones. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Facebook. You get trapped in this little scroll and looking thing. And then YouTube's even worse than that. Now, you should watch my video. You should, because I think it's important to know these things. But I want to really tell y'all that a device is not a substitution for direct interaction. If you're going to interact with your kids, then interact with your kids. Do not have, some of y'all know what I'm talking about. You got these parents that they're in Walmart, here, take a phone to a 5-year-old. Why? Hold their hand and walk with them, dude. Don't just give them a device and walk away. That's craziness. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to say it. I had to. My third point is in the grand scheme of life, when you lose somebody, right? I'll kind of give y'all a little bit of what happened. So my son was getting bullied at school, right? It'd been happening since the beginning of the school year, which has been, I don't know how many months now. I have not, like 7, 8 months. It's almost the end of the school year at this point. And it got so bad that I would take him to school and he would just cry his eye. I mean, it was like somebody was stabbing him in the gut with a knife. Horrible crying. And rather than, I'm going to tell y'all my faults. Rather than saying, hey, son, maybe we should not take you to school today, I said, get out of the car and go to school. I got to go to work. Now, it's not something I'm proud of, and it's not something that I believe anybody should do. I'm telling you that you should be a darn parent. If you made a baby with your spouse, right, and you have a kid, the kids are more than just kids, right? We see them as just kids. They're more than that. They're little humans. And these little humans have feelings and emotions, and they have things that are going on in their life that we don't know about. But if you're with them and present, you'll know more about it. So what ended up happening basically was that I ended up having to take him out of school, right? And once I took him out of school, he said something that really terrified me. He said that he wanted to kill himself. And immediately I went back to my brother. And because my brother committed suicide like 7, 8 years ago. And I would not wish suicide on my worst enemy. I wouldn't. So hear me, parents. Part of the reason could have been because I wasn't there paying attention. And for that, I am sorrowfully regretful. I wish that every parent would take the time to spend the time with their kids and their children and make these little humans turn into big humans. Because in this world, when you leave this world, you have one thing you're going to leave behind. That's your kids. and whatever you've done. And even whatever you've done is going to fade into the background because eventually people will forget you. Eventually. Now, my dad's been gone for about a year and 4 months now, and it ain't got no easier, y'all. It really hasn't. I don't know who said that lie that time heals all wounds, because it don't. So hear me when I say this. You get one chance in this life, one, to make this right. Don't screw it up because you're too lazy or because you have a device that distracts you all the time. Spend time with your children. They need you. They love you. And if you ain't careful, you're going to turn around one day and they ain't going to be there. They're going to be gone. And they're not going to have nothing to do with you because you didn't talk to them. Heed my advice, people. Heed my advice. This is what I've learned. That's the things that I've learned this week. It's been a rough darn week. The last 3 weeks have been rough. And I've just had a lot on my plate. So we finally put him in Liberty University is the school he's going to now, because it got so bad at the school, I just couldn't leave him there anymore. I just couldn't. I had to take him out. And so Liberty University, shout out to y'all, peace. Very good school. I like the people there. And I would highly recommend you look at taking your children out of the public school system. I would highly recommend that. There are, I believe suicide is higher than it's ever been. And I mean, you can see right here, look at this. This is like the pros and the cons of what it does. It has negative mental health outcomes that we don't even know about. It's like we're being used as test dummies. Think about this. This is the conclusion of all of this stuff. Think about this. They are using us as test dummies because we don't know any better. Are you going to let a stupid corporation beat you over the head with their devices? Now think about this. You are paying them for a device that you're using. It's your device, so you think, until you look at what they're doing with all the information that's being gathered. They're gathering data on you all the time. They're gathering information on you all the time, and you're just handing it to them. Like, dude, I want to be paid, yo. Give me some money. But that's neither here nor there. I really wanted to do this, y'all, because I will tell you what, I have cried more in the last 2 weeks than I have cried in my entire life. Well, okay, I cry a lot. I'll admit it. I'm a man who cries. I cry about, if something hurts me, I cry about it because it helps me to get through it. Now, in conclusion, I really, and this is continuation, I really want y'all to understand what I'm saying. Stop being on a device and be present. Your kids need you. They love you. And I don't want you later to have regrets about not spending time with your kids. So, with all of these things said, I love each and every one of you, and I really hope this video touches you. I really do. Because I'll tell you what, this was the hardest month I've ever had. I've never had it was harder even than when my dad died. And so I think y'all that I would just highly recommend that all of you really take the time to love your kids, because let me tell you this, when they're gone, they don't come back, bro. They don't come back. My little brother didn't come back. My dad ain't coming back. I spent a lot of time with my dad in the last 5-6 years of his life. I talked to him every single day, and that is something I'll never regret. I miss you, Daddy, and I love you, and I love each and every one of you. I love my brother, and I miss you. And until my next video, y'all, thank y'all for watching. If you like this video, you know what to do. Hit the thumbs up. If you don't, that's fine too. I'm just trying to build a channel that is a little unique and a little different. So thank y'all for watching. Until next time, peace, everybody.